All right, we give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yah by way of Yahushua HaMashiach. The 5th chapter of John and the 39th verse. After the 5th chapter of John and the 39th verse, Isaiah 26 and 8. Come on.
It says, search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they will testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another should come in his own name, him you will receive.
Yep.
How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that comes from Elohim only?
Yep.
Do not think I will accuse you to the Father. There is one that accuses you, even Moses, in whom you trust. For you have believed Moses, you have believed me, for he wrote for me.
Yep.
But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words?
Yep. People.
After these things.
Oh, no, that's good. Give me the 6th verse of the 26th chapter. Let's roll. Isaiah 26 and 6.
It says, the foot shall tread it down, even the feet of the poor and the feet of the needy, and the steps of the needy.
Pause. What do you think he mean when he talking about treading down? Now, before this here in verse 5, he say he bring him down low, the lofty city. So, what city is he bringing down low? What foot is he? Huh? Yeah, you're looking at instant, but he said the foot will tread it down. What do you mean when he say the foot will tread it down? And he say the steps, the feet of the poor and the steps of the needy. What is the poor? Poor don't necessarily mean destitute. It's somebody who is afflicted and someone who is wretched. Let's look at something. I need Genesis chapter 3 and I need about verse 16. We're going to move rather quickly. Don't let that boy fall no more. Well, me and him going to fight you. I'm going to get on my good knee and kick you in it. Who can't fight?
3 and 16.
Your mammy can't fight. Genesis 3 and 16.
It said, unto the woman he said, I will
back
bring
that
the
up and give me
multiply.
verse 14. Y'all said your mammy can't fight, nigga.
It says, Yahuwah Elohim said to the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust thou shalt eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between the woman and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
He'll do what?
Bruise his head, thou shalt bruise.
What he gonna bruise his heel with? Well, how you gonna bruise his head is the question. Let's see how he'll do it. I need Job 13 and verse 25. After Job 13 and 25, then you go to Romans chapter 16 and verse 17, of which we took a gander at last night, and we'll work our way down. Job 13 and 25. What we discussed last night is that these people ended up in the graves of lust. Then Ham and Gog, or Gog and Magog, ended up in a place of graves called the multitude of Gog, or Ham and Gog. They all got there because of the thoughts that were within, and those thoughts were within determine their final judgment. Your thoughts will determine where your soul rests. You can play with it if you wish, you can play with it if you like, but you'll find yourself in hell if you're not careful. This is why the book tells you in the 4th chapter of the book of Proverbs and about the 27th verse to guard your heart, for the issues of life come from it. See, if you don't guard your mind, then you will easily be. All those people in the multitudes in that graves of lust and Kerbav Hatava, all of them got there because they were lusting, because the people around them were lusting, and because the people around them were lusting, they took on that same mind frame. All them people in Gog that ended up in the valley of Ham and Gog got there because of the individuals around them. When this book tells you that evil communications corrupt good manners, do not think that it excludes you, because if it excludes you, then you telling me the word is a lie, and I'm telling you going to hell. Because in our law, he told you clear as day, don't deal with no Canaanite, don't deal with no Perizzite, don't deal with no Hevite or no Jebusite. You know why he told you not to deal with these people? Who knows why he told you not to deal with these people? Because they will turn your heart from following me. I don't know why any of y'all think you that strong when the word says different. I told you before, you show me you 5 sinners and you hang with one, I see 6. Just straight up and down, because ain't nowhere in the world you're going to tell me you with righteousness and you can hang with niggas that do stuff that should utterly detest you. Do y'all not know in Psalms 101 what David said in Psalms 101? Does anyone know what David said in Psalms 101?
This is the one that I walk in the way of the wicked.
No, I said 101.
Oh, I thought you said 1 and 1.
No, 101. Psalms 101, David said he wouldn't even know a wicked person. Wouldn't even know one. Wouldn't even fool. See, we talking about this other day because we were looking at Goodfellas. The thing with Goodfellas, all them mob people, they didn't deal with no outsiders. You know why they don't deal with no outsiders? Because then there's no level of influence or corruption outside of what everybody is down with. We're all on the same page, and we don't need somebody coming in here trying to introduce anything different. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Yahuwah wanted. See, people look at it in these days and times and say that's cultish, that's controlling. But Yahuwah trying to make sure that basically it's no different than your parents told you, I don't want you hanging out with them. They're a bad influence. But what did your big grown rusty behind do? Go hang with them anyway. And guess what you ended up doing? Tooting your butt in the air, climbing in people's windows, drinking, smoking, and then you got older and you know what? I should have listened to my mama when she told me not to hang with them. You know how many people are sitting in the jailhouse or in the penitentiary because they people told them not to hang with somebody and they went and hung with them and these boys went and did something that got their whole life ruined? You know what I'm saying? And Yahuwah telling you when it comes to transgressors, don't hang with them. Because you'll go to thinking like how they thinking. Some of y'all done started using certain narcotics or drinking alcohol for no other reason than the people around you were doing it. You didn't really have a thought or desire to say, I want to smoke or I want to drink. You were influenced by the people around you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, do outside influences like music and TV have a factor, but you're more influenced by the people that you touch and see every day. You know what I'm saying? How many times have people had, especially they taught the young girls not to be pressured to have sex because all their friends doing it. So then your friends go to telling you to do it. You ain't missing nothing, but your friends make you think you're missing something. So then you go to thinking like, I need to do it. You see how that translate with dealing with a sinner? A sinner make you think you're missing something. But you done been simple enough to forget. You done already been down that road. You should already know I ain't missing nothing. I ain't missing nothing. I ain't missing nothing. Niggas gonna tell me, boy, you don't sit in the trap no more. What am I missing sitting in there? A bunch of junkies and niggas who getting high with them. On whatever they getting high on. They ain't necessarily be smoking rocks. You know what I'm saying? You putting your life on the line. Well, every time you deal with sin, you were putting your life on the line. So this man say he would have to bruise his head. John 13:25. See how he bruised Job, I'm sorry. 13:25. See how he bruised it.
It says, wilt thou break a leaf driven to and fro?
Yeah.
And wilt thou pursue the dry stubble?
Uh-huh.
For thou writest bitter things against me and maketh me to process the iniquities of my youth.
Possess. You see how he said he wrote bitter things against him? What was the bitter things they wrote against him? They told him he was a sinner and a blasphemer. That goes back to what Peter told you in the first chapter, the fourth chapter of his first epistle, how people will speak evil of you because you don't run to the same excess or riot. They will speak bitter things against you. Now Yahushua done possessed your iniquities of your youth because he possessed the iniquity of Adam. So you didn't have to. Go ahead.
It says, he maketh me to possess the iniquities of my youth. Thou puttest my feet also in the stocks.
What he did to them feet. Go ahead.
And lookest narrowly unto all my paths.
Mm-hmm.
Thou settest the print upon the heels of my feet.
They put it. He set the nail. He set a print where? In the heels of his feet. Now, what did the law say that this snake would have to do?
Bruise his heels.
He would have to go upon his belly. So, in essence, if we look at it in a natural aspect, what would you have to do to it? What would most people did to a snake if they seen it coming through their garden? They would step on it. You know what I'm saying? And they'll step right where? They ain't gonna step on the middle part of the snake or the end of it. Where they gonna step on him at? Right on his head. Job 16:17. See, you have to sit back and look at a sinner is no different than the serpent because they're gonna be more subtle than any beast of the field. Their whole objective is in deceiving you that wrong is right. A serpent's whole objective is to make you believe that the things that you shouldn't do, you should do because you have a desire to lean to do those type of things. Anybody who's ever been influenced by anything to do something they ain't had no business is because a piece of you wanted to do it. All you needed somebody was to stoke the flame. That's all you needed. You may have not did it on your own, but if somebody came through and said, come on, man. There's a lot of women ain't necessarily want to have no sex with no dude, but he kept putting that pressure on them, so they relented. Do you know what I'm saying? I say, well, you know, I wasn't planning on doing it tonight. Come on, girl, don't do me like that. And next thing you know, you butt naked. So a lot of niggas ain't want to go commit no crime. Niggas say, boy, we need this money though, boy. We need to go get this money, man. He went in the car and went and robbed that bank with him, or went and robbed that house with him. So when you stamp out those desires, then there's not an avenue for a sinner to stoke that flame. And therefore, if there's not an avenue for them to stoke that flame, then you resist the devil, and you know what the book tell you the devil will do. He will flee from you. I tell you, especially for a woman, you want to get a nigga out your face, go to talking about the word. Go to talking about y'all. I bet a nigga leave you alone. I bet a nigga, because they don't want to have that conversation. Not no man if he trying to do something illicit. He don't want to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? And if a woman on some different type of time, she don't want to have that conversation either. Your friends don't want to have that conversation. Your family don't want to have that conversation. They don't want to have, and I ain't talking about preaching no word to them. I'm just talking about, you know what, I certainly love the Lord. Why so? This why. Just being dead honest. Not that cliche corny stuff. Being dead honest. Shoot, boy, I used to do this here. I don't do none of that stuff no more. I'm scared to go to hell. I'm trying to get in the kingdom. That man say he got eternal life for me. I'm trying to reach. Not that corny stuff, because that corny stuff, people just yah. People hear that you dead serious about what you talking about. Well, I hear you, Lisa. I got to go see what Auntie talking about. And then they don't talk to you anymore. They don't call you anymore. They don't want to fool with you. And that's no different than I gotta step on your head. If you want to put the serpent out, you gotta step on his head. Go ahead.
16, 15,
And 17.
It said, not for any injustice in my hands, also my prayer is pure. O earth, cover not thou my
Romans.
blood.
That's not Romans.
But you said Job. You said Job, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I had been said Romans 16 and 17. Yeah, probably thinking because I said that recently, yeah. But initially it was Romans 16 and 17. Romans 16 and 17.
It said, now I beseech you, brother, mark them which cause division and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. For they that are such serve not our master Yahushua Mashiach, but their own belly.
They own what?
Their own belly.
Yes, they do.
And by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple.
See, that'll go again what you were talking about earlier. That's all you need. That's all you need to get somebody is good speeches, fair speeches, and nice words. You know what I'm saying? That's all you need. That's all the false prophet come with. Shoot, that's all the horny little boy gonna come with. That's all the nasty, no good whore gonna come with. Just some fair speeches and some smooth words to appeal to your flesh, to make you feel like that's all Satan came with. You shall not surely die. He knoweth in that day you shall be as gods. You know what? You right. Because that's what you wanted to hear anyway. Do you not know that 1 Timothy 5 and 6 it says a woman that liveth in pleasure is dead while she live? So why these people be talking about you shouldn't be slut shaming people that's at the end of the third? You dead. You don't know you dead. It's people walking around here, they dead, yet you talk to them every day. Talk to them every day. Go ahead.
It says, for your obedience is come abroad unto all men. I am glad therefore on your behalf, but yet I will have you wise unto that which is good and simple concerning evil.
Yes, sir.
And Elohim Shalom shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly.
He'll do what?
Bruise Satan under your feet shortly.
How? What do you? He'll do what to Satan?
He shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly.
Then we just already started in Isaiah 26 where he sat back and said the foot shall tread it down, even the foot of the poor and the steps of the needy. So it was this afflicted man who stamped this man's head out. Continue on, sir.
It says, under the grace which our Master Yahushua Mashiach be with you. Amen.
That's good. Now in John 16 and 7, which we're not going to read in that area, probably about verse 11 and verse 13, Hamashiach states clear as day that he must cast out the prince of this world. The reason why we stopped in Job 13 and 25 and they said they put the print in his heels. Now, when he resurrected from the dead, he didn't show his apostles his feet, though. But those holes were in his feet as well. Clearly, they're in his hands and in his side. And because of this is what he used to stamp out the adversary. In 1 John 3 and 8, when he tells you that the Son of Elohim was manifested to destroy the works of the devil, this is how he destroyed him. He had to step on him. So if you want to be able to destroy sin or to do this here, that means you have to cast it down and step on it and extinguish it. See, that's what got them in trouble in Kibarath Hatava, because they allowed those thoughts to well up with their lust, and they didn't stamp them down and crush them underfoot. Anytime you read in the Word, it always talks about clamping things underfoot. That's to destroy it. If you want to destroy something, you stamp it out. So if you want to destroy the thoughts of sin and the things of the devices that are welling up in your heart, you have to destroy them. You can only destroy them with the Word, though. It has to be a practical application to understand how to move in every single solitary situation that you find yourself in. You won't be able to do this until you begin to effectively lay the Word up in your heart. Sitting in here every week ain't going to get it done. You know what I'm talking about? Not if you're not taking that word and laying it on your heart. Not if you have not circumcised the foreskin of your heart. Not if you don't have a desire inwardly to achieve unto righteousness. And as we talked about last night, remembering this man. If you remember this man, then you will be able to execute these things. If you do not, you will not. Continue on in Isaiah 26 and verse 7.
Get it together. Hush.
The thoughts of your heart are the desires of your heart. That's why I tell you, better guard your heart. You can play with it if you want to. That's why I asked y'all that last week, or whatever week that was 2 weeks ago. What you got going on that's hindering you? You know what it is, regardless if you don't want to say it out in the open. That's on you. The book say confess your faults one to another that you might be healed, and pray for one another. You can keep it on the low if you want to. You ain't doing nothing but damaging yourself. I don't think anybody really cares to the point where they're going to be a high point and laughing about what you got in your heart. The objective is for you to release it. Once you can release it, maybe somebody can give you a practical solution to be able to fix it. And on top of that, then they can be able to know what to pray for you about. Do you know what I'm talking about? Instead of saying, I hope Leisha get right, like this here. No. If a nigga know they can pray for you, there's a reason for that. There's a reason why he say that to one another. Not to who you want to tell it to, because you worried about, I don't want nobody to know my business. Grow up and stop being immature. That's little kid stuff. I don't want nobody to know my business. Well, clearly y'all know your business. You're butt naked in front of him. So you can either tell it now or he can show it later. Because best believe he will expose you, and then you'll have no choice and everybody will know. Then at that point, you're going to be just like he said. Now you shame when you could have just told it. And they be like, well, shoot. You'll never know. You can tell somebody something. They be like, well, shoot, we can pray about it right now. You don't never know. You don't never know if a person say, you know what? I've been through that myself. This would happen to me when I was in it. This is what I learned from it. You don't never know. You can't be concerned about nobody think. That's why he say, how can you receive honor one from another and not the honor that comes from Elohim only if you're so worried about what somebody going to think or say about you? There's not a single solitary person here that has not committed the sin that somebody on this earth has committed. So you shouldn't be worried about that. Do you know what I'm saying? I think the only thing, and y'all forbid ain't none of y'all did that recently. I don't think none of y'all molested no children. So it ain't nothing. None of y'all could have did that. It'd be to the point where anybody would be disgusted. I don't think none of y'all went and had no sex with no animal or no dead body. Do you know what I'm talking about? So outside of that, any desire or lust that you got in your heart, that stuff is nothing. The objective is to be healed. You know why Yahushua was able to heal all them people? Because they told him what they had going on. Now, of course, on top of that, he already knew what they had going on. But don't nobody in here know what you got going on in your heart to be able to help you do that. He said you are one body, one of another. So ain't nobody shouldn't be if you had the attitude that you think people gonna look at you funny, or you in the wrong business if you worry about what somebody think of you and you trying to get in Yah's kingdom. You in the wrong business. You in the wrong business. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be worried about that. How can anybody look down? If they go to looking down on another, they just like that Pharisee did in Luke 18. Oh, I'm glad I ain't like her. That's Christian stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you heard about Sister Jane. You see how that pastor did that. Now, he should have known that lady wasn't no member. He knew that lady was a baser. He should have knew she was a baser when she walked up there. You know what I'm talking about? And this nigga disgusted. She said she was juggling balls. Like your wife ain't been around here juggling balls. You know what I'm saying? Or like ain't no other women in here around here juggling balls. And you looking at her funny. You nasty bastard. Well, shoot, baby. You know what he supposed to told her? Well, shoot, keep balls out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? What else he supposed to told her? It's all right, baby. Just don't put no more balls in your mouth. It's okay. You know what I'm talking about? Stand out of less for them women. And if any of y'all got balls in your mouth, keep them out. Keep them out. You know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, though, you know how much courage it took for that woman to stand in front of all them people and tell them that? You know what I'm talking about? That means she didn't care what these people thought about her or what they were going to say about her regardless. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga old. Straight up though. You don't understand how much courage that take? That take courage to stand up and say, I got a problem with having sex. But see, people don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? That take courage to do that. You actually show yourself to be a coward when you can't do it. Because you're trying to hide it. And he told you, he that covereth his sins shall not prosper, but he that confess them and forsake them shall have mercy. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way it can be effective. Come on, man. 26 and 7.
It says the way of the just is upright. Thou most upright does weigh the path of the just.
Yes, he does.
Yea, I'm in the way. Yea, in the way of thy judgment, O Yahuwah, have we waited for thee.
Waited.
The desire of our soul is to thy name.
To your name.
And to the remembrance of thee.
Pause. What's the word for desire, Shayla? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if you pronounce it right. You remember the characters? Deidre can help you. Y'all participated together.
Olive.
Aleph is one of them. That is correct. Help her out, D. Help her out. You gonna leave her stranded on the island by herself?
It's Tahaba, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, the Taha.
That is correct. Go ahead. Top. Go and draw that for me.
I'll do that for you.
Ayin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had the tie. You had the olive. The U is correct, and one more. And the hay. No, I don't care about it being in order. That don't bother me none. You could have left that up there though.
I could.
Yeah, it's too late now. It's
so.
it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday, and they are gone. They are gone. Yeah. Your desire. Remember, we talked about desire to begin with. Remember, Yah gave them their ta'avah in Numbers chapter 11. He gave it to them. He gave it to them. And that's the point of why I said what I said before I said all of this on. If you can confess it, that someone can pray for you and actively assist you, then Yah may not give you over to what it is that you're desiring. You know what I'm saying? Now, what do we have right there, Deidre, on that first one? What would we use for that first character right there? Little sign. What we got on the next character right there, Darius? What we got for that next sign? What would we use? Okay, well, he say little strength, little power. We'll take strength and we'll take sign. What we got for that next character right there, Lisa? Don't look at me looking like Queen Latifah. Come on, let me know. That's the ooh. You got it? Don't you got the stuff? Then why you ain't looking at it? But you scroll on your phone looking at everything else. Put it to use for one time in your life. I said it.
You said it. You know.
Soul ain't.
This is olive and pictograph. That was
Yeah.
It was an olive, but
Yeah, you wanted another piece.
yeah, uniform. That's a bad olive.
For that, we would have a nail, young lady. A nail. A nail.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
What all of them say? A hook and what else? To join together and to secure. So on that one there, right, we would sit back and look at a sign or a mark of a covenant with strength with that ox. And we could use nail or secure. And then on the last one, Stanley, what we got for that hay, Stanley? I can't see her, so you were in my line of sight. But she passed it off on you, so you go ahead then. Yeah, strong man. Yeah, she said a man. She didn't say it like she meant it though. So what we'll get from that message? Because with that there, that is a man, but we'll sit back and look at behold. Or you can behold a man or see a man. So we're going to look at, you can behold the nail that secured the strength of this covenant. If that's what your desire is, then you would be to his name. Give him Shem. Yeah, we already know, we talked about it last night. What's the characters for Shem? Shem mean name, what the character for him? What'd you say? Yes, ma'am. And the hay. And that's it. Ain't but two characters for him.
It ain't no.
Oh, it's a meme. I don't know. Yeah, he threw me off.
sure you stay silent.
Yeah. Mem, it ain't but two characters for Shem. So what do we get from this?
Okay, it's just the
And the mean. For the shin on this one here, we looking at joined together because you can see that. You see three people together. Not just teeth, you see three people together. What's the Hebrew word for together? Akkad. So when we look at that, we talked about that in John 17 last night. He said, "Let them be perfect in one, as I am in my Father." So guess what? That first tooth right there is going to be who? What's the second one going to be in the middle? Who the third one going to be at the end? You should say you.
I said us.
You should say you.
You said you, me.
You, me, you. You know what I'm saying? Talking about yourself. Right? What I'm talking about, you know why I'm trying to change? I'm trying to change your mindset. Don't have your mindset on we, us. He said joy. He said I in you in me, meaning I'm in them. If you have it us and we, you ain't even counting yourself. You counting other people. You excluding your own self. I'm dead serious though. I'm talking about mindset. Your mindset is everything.
If I say we, that wouldn't include me.
Not necessarily, because you're being broad in general. You're not personalizing it because it's not a we, it's three people. It's not three people. You see what I'm saying? Because what is that mem is? That's water, that's ruach. So that means a pair joined to a ruach. So when we read get in 1 Corinthians 6 and 14, I'm just talking about mind state. I'm trying to change your mind state, your mindset. Now, I mean, you could look at Father, Son, and Ruach HaKodesh, but not on this one here, because the context of the verse, though, because he said, our desire is to your name. So those who do what? Have beheld the nail that secured the strength of the covenant are now joined to a Ruach. We talked about this last night. I'm just trying to refresh before I get in because I got to ask y'all a question. I might not ask Shayla D because I already asked him this question.
1 Corinthians
6 and 14.
6 and 14. It says, and Yahuwah Elohim have both raised up the master and will raise up us by his own power.
Mm-hmm.
Now know ye not that our bodies are members of the Mashiach.
Your bodies are what?
Members of the Mashiach.
What else?
Shall I then take the members of the Mashiach and make them members of a harlot?
Make members of who?
A harlot.
What do you say?
Yeah, I forbid.
Elohim forbid.
What? Know ye not that which is joined to a harlot is one body?
One what?
One body.
One what?
One body.
What else?
For two saith he shall be one flesh.
Two shall be what?
One flesh.
Now you turn around and you can see that right there. Go ahead.
But he that is joined unto the master is
Who did he say?
Ruach.
He said he? Or did he say we? So this is what I'm talking about with mindset and mind state and mindset on how you approach it and you look at it. He said he, didn't he? Singular, meaning an individual. So that means you need to look at yourself being individually joined to the Ruach, because we as a whole, yeah, those that are in the body, but before you can say we as a whole, you as an individual have to be joined to that Ruach. Because you as an individual have to behold the securing of the strength of the covenant so you can be joined to that Ruach. Because if you don't, then guess what? You excluded. Because all Yasharal is not a Yasharal, so all Yasharal is not of the promised seed. If you understand what I'm saying. Come on back to Isaiah chapter 26. It's no different than, like I was telling y'all the other day, right? When you got to visualize yourself having success before you even go do it. You know what I'm saying? You have to see yourself accomplishing what I tell y'all all the time. If we read Jeremiah 33, when he say that he heard people saying hallelujah of hosts, Yahuwah is good, his mercy endures forever. How we talk about all them people surrounding that throne. You have to see yourself there. If you don't see yourself there, then guess what? You don't even have it set in your mind and in your heart to do the work necessary to be there. Because you don't tangibly in your heart and mind even see yourself accomplishing that task. Continue on, sir. Isaiah 26 and 8.
Yea, in the way of thy judgments, O Yahuwah, we have waited for thee. The desire of our soul is to thy name and the remembrance of thee.
Do y'all remember? Did you remember the word for remembrance? Because I know you have your paper in front of you. Zakar. So what characters will we have for Zakar? If you're listening to that, everyone, what could you pull from Zakar? That is correct. We have a Zayin. Could you draw that for her, please? It's you got the Ayin, I believe. You do have the Kaf. I'm like this.
Hold on.
It's only 3 characters.
It's Zion, Kaf,
And Rosh.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, Zion, Kaf, and Rosh. Yeah, I think she threw them. No, because there's no A in it.
You see it, that was most like
You have the Zayin, the Kaf, and the Rosh. Anybody know what Zayin means? To cut off. So let's write that down. We got cut off. You know, if you got the Kaf, what do we have? The open or the palm of the hand, or open wound in the hand. And lastly and not least, we have the Rosh, which is what? A very ugly man.
ugly man.
you did have to.
But that's how it look though. It's like a side shot.
That nigga look like a rooster. Hey, that nigga sit back around, he around here looking like his chin all he look. I ain't gonna say that about my history teacher, but Miss Johnson, we used to call her turkey neck. She used to let her rank on her too.
Gobble, gobble.
She used to rank on her too. Her and Coach Jones, they ain't mind. They let you rank. The rank right on them. I remember Coach Jones told one of our homeboys, he said, keep it clean. That nigga told him he had them coochie cutter shorts on. He said, keep it clean.
All right,
Keep it clean.
that's how the pool looks. The car looks.
Yeah.
In the picture, girl.
She looking at it. I didn't hang up on you. I didn't hang up on anyone. You nigga call failed. That nigga look like he about to give somebody a kiss.
I'm freehand, so I'm not looking at them now.
No.
Is that bad?
No,
I mean, it's not. I mean,
But I was looking at Haley after.
regardless of free hand or not, that ain't gonna help your drawing ability. The other one, cool. That's an ugly nigga right there.
He look better than the first guy.
See, I made him a little younger.
He look like a
Look, yeah, he gave him a little eye. He looked like he got a hood on.
Oh, he look like
That's supposed to be the hair.
That nigga got look like he got a T.I. skull on. It about to fall off his head. So you sit back and look at that, right? It's the you're remembering to what? You're remembering the cutting off of the palm of the head. That's what we ended with last night. That's what you're remembering. You're remembering that sacrifice. What do we look at in the law to base that off of? We looked at Exodus with Passover. He told you were supposed to do that as a memorial. You were supposed to remember. That's why we looked at that last night. He showed in the palm of his hand. They're supposed to remember. See, and that's why he tell you don't fool with sinners, because you won't remember. You'll begin to forget him. You'll begin to forget him, and it shows where your desire at. Because if your desire is to his name, your desire is to behold the death of Mashiach. You know, from the death of Mashiach, you begin to be joined to his spirit. And if you join to his spirit, then you remember the sacrifice, or you remember the love of which he manifested to his creation. Give me first, what it is, 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9. This is why I use it. I say the best instances, and mostly, because niggas so far removed from childhood, is your relationship with the opposite sex. Because if you love righteousness, you're going to love a righteous man. If you love virtuosity, you're going to love a virtuous woman. And a man or a woman will strive to meet that. Because like I told you last night, right? On a natural level, you can praise a lot of women, but it's a lot of women that are not praiseworthy. You don't fear y'all. What am I praising you for? I got my degree. So what? So what? You know what I'm talking about? When we take it to the comparison of godliness. So what? Natural level, that is outstanding. I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? But we talking about comparing. Don't tell me she's a good woman and then the fear of God is not in the equation. She ain't a good woman then, nor is she worthy of praise. That's what y'all say. I don't care what she do. I don't care if she clean her house from top to bottom. I don't care if she pay all the bills. I don't care if she feed all the neighborhood children. She don't fear y'all. She just a regular woman. You know, it's a lot of women on this earth that feel like they are way better women than they actually are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't that good of a woman. I don't know who told you that. Just like it's a lot of dudes that are nowhere near good of a man as they would like to believe. I don't know who told you that. Now, ain't no confidence. That's self-inflation. They inflated. I'm a good woman. How many? You know, Alyssa, if you got to tell me you're a good woman, 99.9% of the time, you probably not. And if you are a good woman, it was determined by you or your whorish friends or your single bitter friends. Because if a man ain't told you was a good woman, or an older woman who done been married a long time, raised children, look you in your face and told you a good woman, you judging that off your own standard of what you believe good is. You know what I'm saying? Just like dudes judge they standard on them being a good man off their own standard. And usually that standard is, I pay bills. That doesn't make you a good man because you pay bills. No good niggas pay bills too. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can pay bills unless they want to live on the street and be hungry.
Go sit down.
Go ahead, man.
Go sit down.
Go ahead, man.
Go Timothy.
Yeah, 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9.
It says, wherein I suffer trouble as an evildoer, even unto bond, but the word of Elohim is not bound.
Close your mouth. Close your mouth. Close.
It says, therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in Yahushua Mashiach with eternal esteem.
Go ahead.
It is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. If we suffer,
Go ahead. If we what?
if we suffer, we shall also reign with him.
If we suffer, we'll reign with him, right? So if our desire of our soul is to your name in the remembrance of him, right? Then guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna remember his death. Your desire is to his suffering, cause you to be joined to him, which will cause you to remember him. See, don't nobody want to reign with him because nobody want to suffer with him. You know what I'm saying? The book tells you that we through much tribulation must enter into the kingdom of Elohim. That's why we talked about that last night in Philippians. They are enemies of the stake of Mashiach. If a nigga can come up and make you feel comfortable with committing sin or turn niggas' eyes from niggas that committing sin, they're an enemy of the state. If a nigga got a problem with you talking against sin on a regular basis, they're an enemy of the state because they don't want to make that sacrifice. They don't want that denial. They don't want to forsake the things that are of this life and of this world and of this flesh. And surely they are not of Elohim. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not his. Clearly from looking at Isaiah 26:8, that is his teaching. His teaching is for you to remember sacrifice. For the bottom line, if you remember sacrifice, you'll be joined to him. Just to keep it in the simplest terms that we can speak it in. Because is that not what the Tahabah is telling us? Is that not what the Zakar is telling us? The desire is his sacrifice. The remembrance is his sacrifice. If you desire the sacrifice and you remember the sacrifice, you join to his Ruach. It's just that simple. We go back to what he read in John 10. I lay my life down of myself. No man take it from me. Ain't nobody making none of y'all serve Yahuwah. Ain't nobody making you sacrifice yourself to Yahushua. Ain't nobody making you do that. So that means Yahushua give you the power to pick your life back up. I ask you a question. If somebody told you if you keep eating like that, you'll die, what you'll tell them? I'm just saying, period. Like if you keep doing that, you're going to die, Darius. What you'll tell them? Alicia, somebody came and told you if you keep doing that, you're going to die. What you going to tell them? Instead, somebody came and said something to you and said you're going to die. What you going to tell them? Will, if somebody came and told you you're going to die, what you going to tell them?
My time is my time.
You know what you're supposed to tell them. I know you do, because we already had this conversation. That's why I didn't ask y'all. You know what you're supposed to tell them? I'll never taste death. That's what you're supposed to tell them. Now, why would you tell them that? Let's see why. John 11:25. Because if you were the desire to your soul was to the remembrance of his name, then guess what? What the desire of our soul is to your name and the remembrance of thee, then you would have sacrificed. Matter of fact, before we even read that, give me Revelation 1:18. Let me do that. And put the word for dead up there. Let's go ahead and put the word for death up there. Go ahead, let's roll death up there real quick.
Which one you going to? Revelation?
Revelation 1:18. Write the word up for the word for death. The word for dead, I should say, is muth. Does anybody have any idea what those characters would be for that?
What?
Muth. Muth.
Lemove.
Lil Moof. Mem is one of them. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And Darius and Stanley.
The ooh.
That is correct, sir.
The ooh.
And what would the last character we would have? The who? Not known. It's Moof. That's how you would pronounce it. Moof.
The cough or the
Pop.
Not on the cover. You would have the towel for this one. You would put that the word for the pronunciation is M-U-T-H, but it's spelled M-U-W-T-H. Muth.
That's why I say.
Yeah, cause I said.
It's
I was
Muth.
looking at you.
So if we got that mean, what we got right there, everybody? We have water of life. We have the nail again, and we have the covenant again. So when we look at death, what is death actually teaching us? Sacrifice. The covenant of sacrifice leads to life. This is what it's telling you. This is what this is telling you.
in this instance.
In this instant.
So that's what he said.
In Revelation.
Yeah,
In Revelation.
Not death in general, because that was not going to
No, that's all I'm gonna make.
That's what I'm saying here telling you, right? No, it's actually tying to John 11:25, but we'll get there in a moment. I decided to go in a different direction before we got there. Because see, I talked to them about this here, right? And they responded just saying, "You supposed to look me in the face. I'll never taste death. You know that'll throw somebody. How you not gonna die?" Guess you ain't read the word. What you finna say, Stan?
Oh, I was gonna say that's why he said he that loses his life will find it.
Yeah, because in order for you to live, you have to say. Read Revelation 1:18. You're not gonna live and you ain't made no sacrifice. You got to be out your rabbit mind. A man done sacrificed his life, full life, and you think you gonna get in without it? Somebody smoking rocks. Revelation 1:18. Listen to what he say.
I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive evermore.
He liveth and was what?
I was dead,
But he's what?
I am alive forevermore.
So that covenant of sacrifice led to life for him. Ain't that's how Yahusha got it? He said, we already said, my father gave me a commandment what I should say and what I should speak. And I know his commandment is life everlasting. He said, I know I lay my life down of myself. The words say, come on. He said, if you suffer with him, you reign with him, does it not? Give me Romans 8:14, man. Again, we talk about mindset. Like I told, when I said it to them, they weren't ready for that answer. And what made me think about it was this chick I know who always talking about veganism. If you keep eating meat, you gonna die. I'm like, nigga, I ain't never gonna die. Never. You not gonna die? I know you're not. Okay. What you eating? Go ahead.
Romans 8.
Romans 8:14.
It said, for many are led by the Ruach of Elohim, they are sons of Elohim.
Could anybody remember what characters we use for Ruach? You can spell it out. Who can remember the characters we use for Ruach? Resh is one of them. That is correct, ma'am. What we have after that? Yeah. I think we got the ooh on the next one. This nigga draw. That nigga draw the Peterman. That nigga look like his name is Peterman. That boy right there. We got the ooh. And what else we got?
I don't think that.
You know, Ruach by spelling it is gonna be Ruwach.
I think it's 4 though.
It probably is.
So
It's both.
It's a kid, chick.
It might be 3.
I can find out for you though.
I think it's 3. Trippy. I think it's 3.
It's 3 characters. Yeah.
Alright.
3 characters.
So we got the
Rui.
So when we look at that Ruach, what do we see? We see the man, right? Who was sacrificed, correct? That sacrifice causes what? A separation. So now let's take ourselves and go all the way back to the top.
That's a gate. No, I was saying the cot is a gate.
Is a gate. So when we look at Ta'ava, we see that you behold the strength of their sacrifice, correct? So that was the desire to your soul, was to his name, which caused you to be joined to his Ruach, to the remembrance of him, which causes you to remember the cutting of the head. Now we turn around and look at, after the cutting of the head, what happened to him? He died. When he died, it brought forth the sacrifice, or the covenant of sacrifice, which brings forth life. That way he was resurrected from the dead with what? The Ruach. We left off the Hakadash, right? Now we turn around and we look at the sacrifice of the head caused the separation. So you see that if you turn around and you look at Ta'ava is talking about what? Death. A testament is no effect as long as what? As long as you alive, that covenant is no effect, which means no Ruach for you. That's what desire is telling you, correct? That desire led you to be joined to his name. Then you remember what? So remembrance is telling you about what again? Death. Now what is the death telling you about? Life. What is Ruach telling you about? Death caused the separation. So the only way that covenant can be entered into is you're going to have to die so you can separate yourself. And if you don't die, this can never be brought into effect. Because death is actually telling you that. Because it's right there with the ooh. Without death, the covenant and life cannot be manifested, which we know the writer of Hebrews knew exactly what he was talking about. And we can see that without saying, we can see that with the covenant coming in with Egypt. We can see that with the covenant of us coming in the land. You can see that with every covenant for the most part that's established. Something had to die. What's up?
I was going to say, for a person to sacrifice their flesh, you have to believe to do that?
There's no way you could do it if you didn't. Any person you ever ran across who said they believed it, but yet found some way to go against the word, clearly they didn't believe it. Because if you believed it, you wouldn't have done that. And which goes into, the equation of, if a man say, I want me a righteous woman, then that's what, and I got something for that. That's why I keep mentioning this point that I mentioned. You cannot run that ABC 1, 2, 3 game on a godly woman. She's not going for it. She's not going for it. Do you know what I'm saying? She's not going for that. You can come up to a woman who don't know no word, and you can sweet talk out a little booty, and you can get her to do all type of things. You know what I'm talking about? Because she don't know y'all. She don't have no fear for y'all. A woman who has a fear for y'all, that boundary already set because she's already separated herself. So you're not coming with that. You're not going to be able to do that. This is why Solomon wrote in Proverbs, he talking about, I look out my window to behold the simple. Now you see this a hoe and you taking your stupid behind around there and you finna go. You can't no hoe get no righteous man. If a nigga get got by a hoe, it's because he's stupid. You know what I'm talking about? Or truth be told, he was never righteous and you was scheming on some booty to begin with. And that's why I tell you, that's why you can see the people why they choose the people that they choose. Ain't no strong man finna pick no weak woman. That's not gonna happen. Not to make his wife. You know what I'm talking about? See, Yahusha was Yasharal weak when Yahusha came looking for a wife. And you know what he did? He went through a process of time to get her strong before I can marry you. See, weak people like weak people. Strong people like strong people. That's why niggas pick weak women. A man only picks a weak woman because he can dominate her and control her. You know what I'm saying? I can dictate to her what I want her to do, when I want her to do it, how I want, and she's not going to question it. She's not even going. Now, a strong woman will not question her husband when she knows he's strong and she trusts his judgment that he knows what he's doing. She doesn't have a reason to question him. You know what I'm saying? All she going to do is make suggestions on how things could be better. How things could be more. If you see there's a difference. You find yourself as a woman questioning everything a man doing, that means you don't respect his ability to lead. Why you think they question Yahusha all the time? They didn't believe in his ability to lead them. Because if they did, they didn't question no scribes or Pharisees like that, did they? How you know this? How you doing this? What's the greatest commandment of all? Hey. Go ahead, man.
We see y'all.
Romans 8:14. I see you. Little cheesy.
A little cheesy. That's definitely a little cheesy.
Little cheesy.
For as many are led by the Ruach of Elohim, they are sons of Elohim.
You see this here? So if you led by the Ruach, you see that. Now I want y'all to pay attention to that. If you the sons of Elohim, if you led by the Ruach, then you led by the head sacrifice. That's what you led by. And what are the characters for son? Anybody know the word for son? It's very simple. And what characters would you get for that? So that means the seed of the house. Who is the seed of the house? In the law. Who? Who is the firstborn?
Israel?
No.
Yeah.
Isaac.
Right.
What's
Hey,
that?
that's right.
I just said who was the seed of the house?
Isaac.
Isaac.
Say what? Abraham the house?
I mean, Isaac is the beginning of Abraham's house. So he's the seed of the house because he said, he say in Abraham, he say in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
That is our house.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Look, Isaac house.
You know why I said that? Get John 8:34. I knew it threw you off because you thinking all over the place, but I knew that threw you off.
That is the head of our house. Nah, but you ain't say the head of Yasharah.
I just said the head of the house.
Bro, you said in the house. I said Israel. You said who's the firstborn?
And that was correct because when you said firstborn, I was trying to kind of steer you to Isaac.
You don't want to say that?
Yeah, you did say firstborn, so yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to steer you to Isaac when you said firstborn.
Ishmael is the first one of the house.
Nah, Ishmael is not according to the law.
Ishmael got put out the house.
According to the law, Isaac is his only begotten son.
You said you want to look John?
8:34. Oh no, you went wrong. I definitely was trying to steer to Isaac.
It says, you shall answer them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth forever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed.
Who don't abide in the house forever? The sinner. How long Isaac stayed in the house? Long time. Till he was good and old. Back to Romans 8:14. The reason why, you know why I mentioned Isaac being the seed of the house? Because he was the what?
Firstborn.
He was the promised seed. So those who, the sacrifice of the head that caused separation, causes the seed to enter into the house. The promised seed. Promised seed. That makes sense for y'all? Let's go.
Firstborn is the seed of the house, regardless.
Regardless.
Whether it's wicked or
No, not in this instant, because you got to be. You got to be
Looking at the
firstborn.
word.
Because the reason why we can say that ain't the case, because what happened to Simeon? He wanted to dabble.
no, Reuben.
Yeah, Reuben. That's what I mean. He wanted to dabble. He wanted to dabble. He wanted to dabble in a little
You
pudding
lost your
pop.
little seed.
You lost your little seed. Because you wanted some Jello pudding pop.
Okay, that seed away. Right to that, right to his stepmom.
Right in this stepmom.
Yep.
Reuben walked in the room like this here. Look at that booty. And get where it's she supposed to get your nasty behind out of here, nigga, before I go get your dad. Shoot.
She wasn't the seed of the house. So.
She was a handmaid, so she like, I ain't held to this standard. But if she supposed to, as a woman, get your nasty behind out of here, nigga. But she sat back and looked out. I ain't blood related to this nigga, no way. It ain't my son.
You look Isaac's boy.
Shoot, that Jacob boy, you handsome too.
You look Isaac.
Come on over here, come get your some of that grown woman loving.
He was old though. He probably he probably was her age.
I don't know, it don't say how old they were.
I'm just saying he the firstborn. I know she wasn't no old maid. Huh?
Hey, some people like a little old woman vagina. Like that.
Some people don't turn down a good time
At all. You got some nigga ain't turning down. Nigga say, I don't turn nothing down but my collar.
That's dirty. Nah, that's filthy. You was a nasty bastard.
You ain't never heard that before? Y'all ain't never heard that before? Boy, I know a couple niggas tell you that. Boy, I don't turn nothing down but my collar.
I mean, you'll hit a nigga.
No, they wasn't talking about no men.
I'm just saying.
I think they'll turn a man
I would
now.
hope so. Some niggas on a dark night.
Yeah, cause let Quincy Jones tell it. Richard Pryor ain't turn it down.
You turned up.
Turned up. He threw some other people under the bus too, but they ain't allowed to defend themselves.
I was just gonna say that. You think that John true with
I wouldn't doubt it, shoot.
Well, I ain't come out till he was dead.
His wife said that.
She confirmed it.
I mean, he confirmed it.
Quincy Jones said it first, and then she confirmed it and say Richard Pryor got diaries detailing how Marlon Brando was
Cutting his butt.
cutting that butt.
He don't seem like a diary type, but
He a comedian. They write that stuff down. Mark.
Straight up. That made me think, you talking about, don't cut my
hey,
butt, Alba.
hey, go sit down.
But you always whining. Hush that noise up and go sit your black behind down somewhere.
Go sit down.
You don't need to go pee with no girls. Romans 8.
You want to be baby.
Big husky boy. Romans 8 and 14, man.
It says, for as many are led by the Spirit of Elohim, they are sons of Elohim. For ye have not received the Ruach of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the Ruach of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. The Ruach itself bears witness in our Ruach that we are the children of Elohim.
Pause. So, the sacrifice of the head that separates bears witness with the breath that's in you, because you have separated yourself by sacrifice that you a son or daughter of Elohim. A lot of niggas say, I'm a son of Elohim. Lying bastard. Nigga, you just beating your meat last night. You just hit a hole last week. You told a lie yesterday. Come on.
It says, and if children, then heirs of Elohim, and joint heirs with Mashiach, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may also be esteemed together.
See that there? You got to suffer with him, don't you? 1 Peter 4 say, let this mind be in you, the same mind that was in Yahushua HaMashiach. He that suffer in the flesh cease from sin. He that denies himself, so you see how you say the poor and needy or the afflicted crashes the head. This is how you crash Satan in your own body. Get Romans 6, man. 6 and 11.
It says, likewise reckon ye also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto Elohim through Yahushua Mashiach our master. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that ye shall obey in the lust thereof. Neither yield ye members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto Elohim as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto Elohim. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace.
Pause. Because guess what? He said you're not under the law, but under what? So if you're not under the law, you under grace, you under con. We already talked about that. The separated seed. The cot and the noon. What is the separate? See how we went it back to see how we brought it back to Isaac? See how they say you that the sin don't abide in the house forever? Because what happened to Ishmael? He was thrown out. So in order for you to defeat sin in your mortal body, Mashiach had to make a sacrifice. Now you're able to do what? Put it underfoot. So those who suffer in the flesh, you see how we said those who suffer with him or reign with him, you put him under your foot. That makes sense of what we were looking at in our Isaiah 26 and what that was. Verse 6, where he say the foot shall tread it down, even the foot of the poor or the steps of the needy. But let's look at something else we talking about, right? In that Jeremiah chapter 2, right? Didn't he say the thieves would be ashamed? Let's look at how the thief was ashamed. Let's go to Hosea 6 and 6 first.
What's foot?
That's Rahesh.
Huh?
That's Rahesh. It ain't Gamal. No, I mean Regal, not Regal.
Said Amos. Say English, right?
Hosea 6 and 6.
It says, "For I desire mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of Elohim more than burnt offering. But they, like men, have transgressed the covenant, and they have dealt treacherously against me."
Yep.
It says, "Gilead is a city of them that work iniquity, and is polluted with blood.
Blood.
And as the troops of robbers wait for a man, so the company of priests murder in the way
A
by
troop of
consent."
what?
A troop of robbers.
What is a robber? And that's a thief, ain't it? He say these thieves gonna be ashamed. Say they lie in wait to do what? Murder. In the way. What does the book say Judas was?
A murder.
A thief. Look at Matthew 27 and 2. Well, that's all you do, boy. You're 6'3", 225 pounds. Wine every day.
Matthew 23 and 2.
27 and 2.
It says, "And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. And when Judas had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented him."
When he saw that he was what?
Condemned.
He was ashamed now.
"And brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned, and that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, What is that to us?
See ye to it.
See thou to it."
Was the priest ever ashamed? Were the princes ever ashamed?
Not at that moment, right?
I'm talking about at any moment.
Probably when earthquakes.
No, it actually they actually showed their shame in the 5th chapter of Acts when they say, "Didn't we straightly command you not to preach in this man's name? You intend to bring this man blood upon us." If they hadn't done anything wrong, see, there wasn't an outlet. It's like Judas was outly ashamed. See, they were shamed a little bit, but they just try to, we locked in now. We just got to keep on going. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get no shame like at the end. Their shame will come in when they reach that lake of everlasting contempt. Yeah, you think you're on camera, but you're not, though.
Definitely not.
How you are? Go to where we at, man? You see how they ended up in shame? See, when you try to rob and steal and do the things like this here, you can put thief back up there, though. You can put the word for thief back up there.
Just sit down. What do you mama?
Hey, here you go. Hey, sir. Sir. You could write the word for thief back up there, man.
Thief, robber, and dirty man.
Ain't no snacks in there for you. That ain't for you. Thank you,
Thief.
man.
Thief is to carry you away from the home.
Carry you away from the home. Did Judas carry Yahusha away from his home? And if so, how did he do it? When he went and got the people, he carried Yahusha away.
Yeah, took him away.
He carried him away. Like, see, this is a twofold thing because Judas is symbolic of what sinners come to do. When sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Because the priests were already ready to kill him. Then Judas slide and say, "Hey, what will you give me?" Now, if they weren't sinners, they wouldn't have went with his enticing. Because Judas is the one who's actually enticing. Because the priest didn't come ask Judas to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now, that doesn't absolve the priest from plotting. But they didn't come. Ain't nobody say, "We'll get that nigga for you." Judas say, "What you want me to do, nigga? What you gonna get me?" That's why he say a thief would be ashamed. You know what I'm talking about? Because we see Judas being ashamed at the last. Because you got to know, why was Judas so sad and so sorry? He wasn't sad, nor was he sorry. Because he would have did it in the first place.
He was ashamed.
He was shamed because he got caught. I can't even say because he got caught. No, that might have actually been genuine. Ain't nobody even stepped to him. He just sat back and looked at what his work had done did. You know what I'm saying? That's how some of y'all done felt. Some of y'all probably done had sex with somebody and rolled over and looked at him and said, I'm just saying. Ain't even got to be because they a horrible person. This, that, the third. You just know you wasn't supposed to do this here. How I let this nigga get me out my butt tonight? A man ain't got to trick a man too tough. All you got to do is sneeze on him. He ready. I'm for real though. You ain't met too many men gonna turn a woman down. That's why I be met niggas talking about, I don't like ugly women, fat hoes. Yet all these ugly women and fat women pregnant though. But all you niggas say you got dimes and bad chicks. But all these so-called women, they always come got multiple kids at that.
The body, the bed, the shin, and the top.
Thank you, sir. You're very helpful. I ain't trying to be funny though, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Dudes do it on the internet all the time. I only got bad women. I keep me a 10.
Peace nugget.
Nigga said a peace nut. Then you see the mother of their child. Where the 10 at? Oh, I was drunk that night. I mean, you got some dudes, they don't care. One thing about it, boy, a sinner don't care how he get his sin off, as long as he get it off. Mm-hmm. You better put your dress down. Come on back to Revelation 1 and 18. Well, we good in 1 and 18. Revelation 14 and 13. And after matter of fact, get me Psalms 88. Psalms 88 and 3. I want y'all to get Psalms 88 and 3, Revelation 14 and 13. Then Revelation 2 and 8. Psalms 88 and 3, Revelation 14 and 13, Revelation 2 and 8. Psalms 88 and 3 says what?
For my soul is full of troubles and my life draws nigh to the grave.
Mm-hmm.
I am counted with them that go down into the pit. I am as a man that hath no strength.
Uh-huh.
Free among the dead like the slain that lie in the grave, whom thou rememberest no more, and they are cut off from thy hand.
Pause. He say he free from what? He free among the who?
He is free among the dead.
What y'all think he mean when he say he free among the dead? What y'all think he mean when he say he free among the dead? The word for free is kafshe. It means free from slavery or free from taxes or obligations. So what do y'all think knowing that he say he's free from among the dead? You see how that go back when he say you're no longer under the law but under grace? Because you're free from the obligation of the dead. What is the obligation of the dead? Drop down to verse 11. Matter of fact, drop down to verse 9.
It says, my eye mourneth by reason of affliction. Yahuwah, I have called daily upon thee. I have stretched out my hands unto thee.
What he say?
Wilt thou show wonders to the dead?
Will he show wonders to the dead? I'm going to ask you, pause. Did he show wonders to the dead?
Yeah.
How?
He was preached to him.
But did it say he showed wonders to the dead? Or did it say he preached to him?
I was thinking about Isaiah 14. It said when all that looks upon him gonna be like this man that shut the kingdom. So I felt like, yeah.
That's talking about when he died and there was the earthquake.
Oh, that was talking about when he went down to the pit.
Not Isaiah 14. Because it said they'll look upon him. So how would those in the grave know that he even shook all the kingdoms? They wouldn't know that. Now he did go preach to him, but it doesn't say that he showed him any wonders. A marvelous work. A marvelous work. Go ahead though.
It says, Will thou show wonders to the dead? Shall the dead rise and praise thee?
Pause. Will the dead arise? Will the dead arise and praise him? Huh? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You want to know why not? Pause. Mark, what it is? Luke 20, man, about verse 29. It just goes back to what we were already talking about. If I came and told you, Darius, you gonna die, you keep eating that red meat, I ain't never dying. No, he talking about a literal dead. We talking about literal being dead. So if you dead, absolutely not. The dead ain't getting up and praising you. The dead getting up to go to hell.
Go to hell. That was just twice.
But he's asking the question, will the dead arise and praise thee? He ain't talking about no resurrection of the dead. So the dead ain't getting up. Luke 20, what do we need? Luke 20 and 34. Well, you do more crying than you do talking.
It says, Yahushua answered and said unto them, the children of this world marry and are given in marriage, but they which shall be accounted worthy to obtain the world and the resurrection from the dead neither marry or are given in marriage.
Yep.
Neither can they die anymore.
Neither can they what?
Die anymore.
Neither can they what?
Die anymore.
What else?
They are equal unto the Malachim and are the children of Elohim, being children of the resurrection.
What else?
Now,
Pause. If they the children of the resurrection, guess what that takes us to? The sacrifice of the head causes a separation for the seed to enter into the house. If you a son of the Ruach, ain't nowhere in the world. You a son of the Ruach, you ain't never dead. Come on.
it says, now that the dead are raised, even Moses showed at the bush.
What did he show at the bush?
When he called the master, he said he called Yahuwah Elohim of Abraham and Elohim of Isaac.
I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Is Abraham dead? Is Isaac dead? Is Jacob dead? What's the next verse say in verse 38?
It said, for he is not the Elohim of the dead, but of the living, for all live unto him.
So if you live under him, how you dead? So no, the dead are not getting up to praise him. How do we know the dead's not getting up to praise him? John 5:25. Those who die in him live unto him. Is that not what Romans 6 teaches us? If you buried with him immersion, you live like unto his resurrection. Therefore, you are not dead. You are dead, yet you live. What did Yahushua say about Lazarus when they went to his grave? He said he dead, but he lived. He lives. She said, I know he'll live again. I'll see him at the last day. That's what Martha said to him. What did Yahushua say in that parable? If you send my brother to talk to him, they won't do it no more. He said, boy, they won't hear their word. They ain't gonna hear nobody resurrected from the dead. So the dead ain't getting up to praise you. They ain't getting up to do nothing. The dead don't see no wonders or nothing. You had your chance to see wonders before you hit that casket. That's in Luke. What, a song? No, it's in Luke. About somebody raising from the dead to hear the word. You think about Psalm 49 probably. There's no redemption in the grave. But the actual word, and I think, like he literally told the dude, like if they won't hear, he said, let them hear Moses. He said, if they won't hear Moses, surely they will not hear one who resurrects from the dead. Oh, okay, that's what I thought you were talking about. We'll deal with that a little bit. Come on.
John 5.
And 25.
It says, verily, verily, I say unto you, the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of Elohim.
They'll hear what?
The voice of the Son of Elohim.
So if they hear the voice of the Son of Elohim, what word have we looked at today will qualify for that? That's not up there now. No, I said a word that we looked at today that would fit that qualification.
Oh.
That word that we looked at today that would fit that qualification would be the panim, no, would it not? Because that would be you hearing the words of eternal life, would it not? Come on, you got to write it up there because we got to roll. We don't got time for that. We done already been there. So keep going. Because if you don't hear the voice of the head before you hit the grave, you're not gonna hear it when you get up. You're not gonna hear it. Come on.
It said, for as the Father hath life in himself, so hath he given to the Son to have life in himself, and hath given him authority to execute judgment.
He said the Father got life in himself, right? The Son got life in himself, right? So how would you have life in yourself? Because you died and you received that Ruach. Now you have life in yourself. Without the Ruach, you don't have life in you. That's why you can look I'll never die. I'll never die. That'll throw a nigga if you told somebody that. What you mean you ain't never gonna die? What I said, nigga. Did I stutter? Did I hesitate? Did I say it too fast? Do you need me to slow it down? Why do you think so many people scared of dying that they come with that? I know he looking down on me. I see you when I get there. Save a spot for me. Nigga, ain't no spot for you, nigga. You want a nigga to save a spot for you in hell? You know what I'm talking about? Like, people don't even realize what they saying. No, don't say no. Nigga like they said, don't say no spot for me. I'm straight. I'm going to the right hand side. I don't know what you talking about. You going to hell. Please don't watch over me. I look a nigga in the face. If somebody coming, I know he watching over you. I don't deal in necromancy. Nancy, Clancy. I don't deal in none of that. Take that heathen stuff somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just sitting here telling you, this is what our law teaches. This is what our word teaches. Rest in heaven. That nigga resting in a casket.
That's all I be seeing. Rest in hell.
Rest.
Put every foot R-I-A.
Cause nigga want to take the P off. No, you supposed to tell him rest in peace. Cause it's the only peace he gonna be getting till the man say arise.
That's where you finna rest.
No,
Some of be resting now.
Some of them say sleep in heaven, sleep in peace. That's the only. Boy, you a sinner. That's the only peace you finna get.
Huh?
I got a question. So the Catholic,
I can't even roll in peace.
Judgment, where they gonna be? You gonna wake their soul or
They coming up out of there.
the soul or the flesh and blood?
That man say that not this no ain't no souls floating around. Remember how did Yahushua resurrect? He said, you don't see me. He said, a ruach don't have flesh and what?
Flesh and
I'm
blood.
thinking about everybody that's in the grave hill when we go over there to the land, like,
Everybody coming out the grave with flesh and bones.
and they gonna go to the.
Now they got to come before that throne. But you got to remember, they not coming out the grave when he come back here. They staying in there. The wicked,
Yeah.
they not coming out.
Stay.
But when that one day over with, shoot, I need to run my financials. Tell them niggas get up, man. I need that rent, straight up. Rent's due, nigga.
You need to pay what you owe.
And you sitting there looking at this here. Where the sacrifice at? I ain't got it. Oh, he ain't got nothing to pay. He can't come in here. You ain't got your rent money. You ain't got your rent money.
We're gonna get my debit card. I was full on earth.
And get what he told you. Silver and gold can't redeem the soul of your brother. You were redeemed with corruptible things like silver and gold, but by the blood of Mashiach as a lamb without blemish. Your check bounced. You don't know whose I am? No, I don't know who you is, nigga. Your name ain't on the guest book.
Niggas do feel like they passed and say it.
For real though, he got a whole guest book. When he opened up that book of life, that's the guest book. Your name, we have no records of you having a lease here. You didn't purchase any property here with us.
What did you RSVP?
He don't even want no RSVP. I need you to pay me what you owe me. So you can pay me now or you can pay me later. Better pay him now. So I tell you. Go ahead. But a nigga tell you trying to control people with going to hell. I can't control you with going to hell. Y'all can control you with it though. He let you know. Be weeping and gnashing the teeth, you ugly little bastard Jew. Because you can't say you're beautiful if you ain't walking in Kadesh. You can't say you're Tafara without no Kadeshness. So you're not beautiful. You're an ugly little bastard. In his eyesight, anything less than Kadesh is ugly. And that's why that goes into, that's why he say favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. That woman fear Yahuwah, that woman is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? No matter what her face look like. Niggas be around here. Now that's what Brandon always talk about. He don't be lying to a certain extent, but I don't think every man, they only want to talk scriptures to a woman with a pretty face and a big butt. Yeah, some of them niggas do it, but don't get mad at somebody because they don't want to be with an ugly woman. But if they gonna pick a nice looking woman who don't fear Yah over a woman who they may not feel is as beautiful, who does, then that nigga's an idiot. But you know, beauty is relative anyway. Though all of us know beauty when you see it and ugly when you see it. But some people, oh no, I ain't gonna tell you that lie. Everybody know beautiful when you see it. You, yeah.
No, but
You know, I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
No,
I
the reason why I say that
beauty
now.
is more subjective than ugly.
No, I ain't gonna say that because some people you can look at you like that's a beautiful woman. Ain't even no if and buts about it, no arguing. Some people, I'm talking about not every woman, but some women you can see a woman be like that's a pretty woman.
My stepdad used to clown me because I ain't think Halle Berry looked that good.
I mean, she's a pretty woman.
She ain't all that good.
I mean, let's say that she all that or how niggas maybe amp her up to be, but she's a beautiful woman. Halle Berry.
She like a white woman to me.
I mean, she half white.
I was just about to say she.
Yeah, so automatically that be making me like.
Her mother is a grotesque looking creature.
Goodness.
Her mama is not pretty at all.
Hey.
That's how I look at.
She crazy.
She told me.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, everybody know ugly when you see it though. No, but you have some people who they're not ugly people. That somebody be like, I don't think she pretty, and 10 people think she pretty, and vice versa. But boy, everybody done seen a nigga like, boy, that nigga the ugly. Like, hey, and pretty.
People hope they would be pretty on the inside. There's some ugly people that are ugly on the inside.
Yes, goodness, it is. Because if you're not that attractive outwardly and you pretty on the inside, it makes you look better.
All right.
It does make you look better.
The only person I know that's like around the board ugly, you probably see her.
And
They're all around.
all the way.
Like I don't think nobody gonna be like,
That's a handsome
he's
man.
handsome. What you talking about?
See, Ray.
That's probably the only person.
Yeah, bro.
That's not his fault.
I ain't placing blame on nobody. I just feel like that's one of them persons.
Well, I went to school with about 8, 9 niggas, boy. Like, boy, them some ugly niggas, boy.
Nigga, I can't describe him.
He has a distinct look. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Continue on. He's a distinguished gentleman. Now, I will tell you, you know what? I told y'all before what you call an ugly woman. You don't walk up a woman and call her ugly. You tell her that's a handsome woman.
Girl, you know you handsome.
You tell a man you want to say he ugly, say that's a distinguished. You got a distinct look there, sir. You distinguished.
You a distinguished gentleman. Above all the rest.
A woman ugly, that's a handsome woman.
No, I'm not hearing you say that.
You just point out the best feature, huh?
That nigga got nice nails.
Damn, necklace is fine.
Walk up to a girl, woo! He got a slim wrist. Come on.
That's an insult. I don't care if you look good. If you all do good, say, girl, your wrist slim.
Shoot, I bet you can wear all the bangles.
That was funny.
Come on, man. John 5, man. Tell the nigga, boy, you got some nice shoes. Yeah, see that? No disrespect. It ain't cause she heavy. It ain't cause she heavy. Like that girl who pray pressure, that's an ugly woman. I don't care cause she big. Big ain't got nothing to do with what she look like that. Shoot, she look like Magilla Gorilla. Come on, man. John 5, man.
It said, for as the Father hath life in himself, so hath he given the Son to have life in himself, and hath given him authority to execute judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming in which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice, and shall come forth. They that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation.
Back to Psalm 88. So if they coming up, so the dead ain't rising up again, are they? No, sir. It ain't happening. 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 Psalms 88. Give me verse 11.
It says, shall thy loving kindness be declared in the grave, or the faithfulness in destruction?
Was his mercy and loving kindness declared in the grave? It won't. When he preached to the Ruachs in prison, it definitely was. Because remember, the writer of this psalm is asking a question. But look at verse 12, though.
Shall thy wonders be known in the dark?
Will they be known in the dark? No. What else?
And the righteousness in the land be, and the righteousness in the land of forgetfulness?
No. Let's go back to verse 5. So when we see free among the dead, remember what we said what free means? Free means free from obligations. You're free. So John 11 and 25 now. Why are you yelling at him like that, man? You trying to escape. Your son trying to break out.
Martin, get down. Get out.
Mm-hmm. John 11 and 25. Mm-hmm.
It says, Yahushua said unto her, I am the unto her I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
If you believe in him, though you were what?
Dead,
Yet you shall what?
live.
What else did he say?
And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this?
Whoever do what?
Believeth in me
Live.
shall never die.
Whoever do what? Live. And believe in him will never die. And where do we sit back and see that? Because your desire was to his soul, to his name. You see, you remember his sacrifice, which gets you joined to his ruach. And then the next thing is because you remember him, you remember the sacrifice, which causes you to make the covenant of death or the sacrifice of the covenant of life, which causes you to remember that head who made a sacrifice to cause you to be separated, to make you the seed that enters into the house because you were a separated seed, because he separated himself unto death to live again, and therefore you're not carried away from the house. Now it's amazing that all of these characters and all of these words in different locations tell the same exact story in the exact same order, doesn't it? And all of that makes you what we read in Psalm 88. Now you free from death. You free from that obligation. As long as you commit sin, you under the obligation to die. Romans 6 and 23. As long as you commit sin, you are under the obligation to die. You are not free. This is why Paul wrote in the 2 Corinthians chapter 3, where the ruach of the master or Yahuwah is, there is freedom. That's 2 Corinthians 3 and 17 if you don't know that.
Get out that trash.
He said, I'm free among the dead. So guess what? What did Hamashiach say in Luke, right? Let the dead do what? And get what? If you got the ruach, then you are free amongst the dead. So every time you go out in the world and you're walking around these people, you are free from the obligation of death amongst people who are not. And this is why it's an imperative to receive the ruach, because if you don't receive it, you are not free among the dead. You haven't separated yourself from death because you didn't make the sacrifice to separate yourself from death. So therefore you will die. Go ahead, sir.
Romans 8.
Not Romans 8. What's he talking about? Yeah.
Romans chapter 6, verse 23.
22, sir. 22.
Oh, 22. Okay. But now being made free from sin.
Being made free from what?
Sin.
From what?
Sin.
Now you free from among the dead. Go ahead.
And become servants of Elohim.
Servants of who?
Elohim.
What else?
Ye have your fruit unto Kadash.
Yes, sir.
And everlasting life.
Yes, sir.
For the wages of sin is death.
The payment of sin is what?
Death.
The payment of sin is what?
Death.
And what else?
But the gift of Elohim is eternal life.
And that's what we seen right here. Does the gift of Elohim lead to eternal life? You're not free among the dead. Not sinning. And now Psalm 88 and 3 says, free among the dead like the slain that lie in the grave, whom thou remember no more, and they're cut off from thy hand. So that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You cut off from his hand if you around here a thief and a robber. You cut off from his hand. I mean, you cut off from Yahusha. What gets you cut off from Yahusha? Sin. Give me Revelation 14 and 13. And then back to Isaiah chapter 26. I got to carry the rest of this in the next week. Most High willing. So this is why this Revelation in 14 and 13 to make some sense. Give me verse 11. Tell me what that says.
It says, in the smoke of their torment is
Make it 9. Y'all need to hear it.
It says, and the third Malachim followed them, saying with a loud voice,
What he said?
any man worship the beast.
Any man do what?
Worship the beast.
And what else?
In his image.
And what else?
And receive his mark in his forehead.
What should happen to
or
him?
in his hand. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Elohim, which is poured out
Without mixture.
without mixture.
He tell you in Psalm 75 and 8, that cup is preserved for the wicked. Yahusha drunk that cup, so you didn't have to drink it. Now be a nigga if you want to, and he just told you gonna drink it. Cause he ain't playing with you. He ain't playing with you. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why cause sometimes you gotta focus on that part. You don't think Yahuwah warned Yahusha what was gonna happen to him if he ain't listen? You think he ain't telling? You just thought the son is gonna be great. You know, you're gonna resurrect from the dead. Everything's gonna be smooth. He said, "Hey, tell him too. A father don't tell his son the benefits that don't warn him but no consequences. He said, train up a child in the way that he should go. He won't depart. So you ain't thinking he tell him what would happen to him if he departed? That don't make common sense. So you mean to tell me you don't tell your children the consequences of their actions if they go astray? So you gonna tell me that Yahuwah is an irresponsible parent? That's what you gonna tell me? I think not. I think not. Go ahead. Let's roll.
It said, without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the Malachim and in the presence of the Lamb.
Yep.
And the smoke of their torment is sended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night who worship the beast in his image.
No rest. And guess what the book say about the wicked? Ain't no rest for them. Go ahead.
It says, and the beast in his image, whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the
Here's the patience of the Kadeshim. What is it?
Here are they that keep the commandments of Elohim
and do what? And the faith of Yahusha. What else?
And I heard a voice from Shamahim saying,
what did that voice say?
Right.
Baruch.
Are the dead which died.
Pause. The dead that are what? What's the dead again? What word up there is the dead, everybody? The move. And what is that? The sacrifice, or the covenant of sacrifice which leads to life. So he write, Baruch are the who? The dead. So those who have made that covenant of the sacrifice of the covenant of life, what do he say about it? Read it to him. Start it from the top.
I'll do it. Here's the patience of the Kadeshim. Here are they that keep the commandments.
See how that patience? We have, remember, see, we didn't focus on that part of Isaiah 26 and 8. He say, the way of thy judgments, we have waited for them. Patience. If you're going to do anything great in your entire life, you got to have patience. I was talking to somebody yesterday, right? And they were high capping though. I told him, I said, well, you could be married to somebody 10, 15 years. I said, well, if you're married to somebody, eventually one day you're going to look at them, you getting on my last nerve, nigga, you need to go somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, that would never happen. I bet you ain't finna be around somebody all day, every day, and they'll never get on your nerves. There's not going to never be a period of time that you don't particularly care to share their company. That doesn't mean you don't love them. That doesn't mean you don't want to be with them no more. In this particular time block, I need you to go find some friends. I need you to find something to do. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you're getting on my lad nerve. You need to take a walk. You need to call your homegirls, call your friends, go play basketball, go lift some weights. Nigga, jog around the block. Just get out my house. Meaning go somewhere. Go outside. Don't go in another room. You know what I'm saying? Don't go in the other room. Depending on the time of day now. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you need to go to the other room. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no business going outside the door 3 o'clock in the morning. Ain't nothing out here but dope and legs. You need to go in the other room. You know what I'm talking about? But shoot, it's 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, man. Call your friends and go do something. I don't care if you got friends. Eventually, it's going to come time period sometime with your friends. You get on each other's nerves. Shoot, your children get on your nerves. You be like this here, somebody be like this here. You going to come pick them kids up? Show live. Shoot, please come get them niggas. Keep them all day if you want to. Shoot, keep 2, 3 days. I pack a big bag. You know what I'm talking about? Does that mean you don't love your kids? Does that mean you don't want them back? That means they're getting on your nerves, and I'd like a 48 to 72 hour break without you. I need to throw my battery. Guess what? And sometimes your husband or your wife, you might feel like I need a 4 to 5 hour break from your presence because you're getting on my nerves. Do you know what I'm saying? And this thing was like, no, that doesn't happen. That's not right. So that's your break, huh? Has she ever got on your nerve before?
Not the way I felt like you should depart from my presence.
You know what I'm saying? He ever got on your nerve before? You felt like you needed a break for a little while? Clear your head. It's natural. I mean, that's natural. Lee, he ever got on your nerves?
I thought you never had.
At least say he ever got on your nerves? Callie Stanley ever got on your nerves?
Yeah, but not a lot.
I see. Now I'm saying now when they get on that I mean that's something that come after you done been together for a while. You've been living with each other. See, if you live with somebody, they butt naked, so you know them. So there's certain stuff they could do, and you might not feel that. But sometimes your mate been pissed off. You feel like I need to take a walk.
That's how she be feeling. I don't be feeling like that.
You do?
I'll go lay down.
No, cause like the lady, like that video to that shit. That's what that lady was talking about. Reason why I mentioned that, cause when that period come in your marriage or in the basically I want to say first is a long-term relationship. In your marriage, there might come a time period your spouse upsets you. Or you might even have a period of time where you may not necessarily like them at that particular time. You know what I'm saying? And most people, when they hit that spot where this person is getting on their nerves, or I don't particularly like you right now, they leave. Yeah, you talking about you've been married for a minute. Like that 1 to 5, I don't think you get to that point in that period where you like, nigga, you need to go. Just
Like you said 15, 20, yeah.
yeah, I mean, just period. If you be with anybody for an extended period of time, they're gonna get on your nerves, and you're gonna be like, you know, just go somewhere, just go do something. You know, you come back, let me like this here, we'll deal with it later.
No.
So like, if you got parents, it's kind of the same. You still love your parents, but sometimes you like,
Yeah, I'm finna dip. When you were young, when your mama got on your nerves, all you niggas went out the house and went to the corner store and asked a nigga to buy you a Swisher. If you couldn't buy him yourself, you would have smoked the blunt. Mama Duke's tripping, man. Tired of man, she be tripping. You know what I'm saying? This is natural. Cause this is why I was telling you. If you with somebody and they don't never get on your nerves, I don't think you love them too tough. If you with somebody, y'all don't never have a disagreement, y'all don't never have a differing of opinion. You know what I'm saying? You think, why would you want your wife to agree with every single solitary thing that you say?
Hey, big dog.
You know what I'm saying? But my point of what I mentioned is here, guess what? Yahuwah got frustrated, we got on his nerves. And let's just be real, Yahuwah got on our nerves too. Look at our behavior. We ain't got no flesh to eat. Where the bread at? Why you bringing us around here? Always complaining. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? We were getting on his nerves. He said, you know what? And the book of Judges is a scriptural example that I could use for this here. We were getting on his nerves. He said, you know what? You need to go hang out somewhere. Go hang out with the Philistines for a little while. And well, go hang out with the Philistines for. Guess what happened, baby? I'm ready to work it out.
that's what we started saying. Please,
Baby, we can fix this. I bet we can, nigga. I bet we can. But what I'm saying is to have that. That's natural. You have friends that you disagree. You don't always see eye to eye. You may not talk to each other for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Come back, iron it out, straighten it out. If that friendship means that much to you. That boy's trying hard. Come on, man. So we can deal. Where we at? Yeah, finish that Revelation 14 and 13. Start it from the top.
Yeah. It says, and I heard a voice from Shamaim saying unto me, Right, Baruch, are the dead which die in the master from henceforth. Yea, says the Ruach, that they may rest from their labors,
That
and
they
their
may
works do follow them.
Your work do follow you. Guess what? Yahushua's work followed him. We can see that right here. Let your work follow you. Where are we headed to next?
We had another part of Revelation.
Yeah, 2 and 8. Bro. We good. Go ahead and get it. Revelation 2 and 8.
It says, and unto the Malachim of the assembly in Smyrna, write these things, said the first and the last, which was dead and now is alive.
The first and the last, that was what?
Dead and is alive.
Is alive. What he told
I
you.
know thy works and thy tribulation
And what?
poverty.
And what?
But thou art rich.
Thou art
I know
what?
the blasphemy of them that which say they are Yahudim and are not, but are the synagogue.
That's good. Isaiah 26 and 12. Isaiah 26 and 12, my apologies. Listen what it
He
says.
said, Yahuwah, thou ordained shalom for us.
What does ordain mean?
Established.
Establish. He has established shalom for you. Ephesians 1 and 4 tells you this. Go ahead. No.
Oh, okay. It says, "For thou hast also wrought us all."
He said, thou hast wrought all our works in us.
Yes.
Ephesians 1 tells you this as well. Go ahead.
It says, "O Yahuwah Elohim, other masters besides thee have had dominion."
Who are these
over
other
us."
masters that had dominion over you? We read it in Romans chapter 6. Sin, Baal, Ashtaroth, whoever you want to name. They had rule over you. Remember, he said, now you free from sin, so you could be a servant of Elohim, because that had dominion over you. See, when you have a desire to his name, and it causes the remembrance, it causes you to die, which causes you. I can't see the other. We got that. Which causes you to get the ruach, which causes you to be a son, which causes you to accept grace, which allows the thief not to carry you away. Like I said again, the desire to the name brings forth remembrance, which brings forth the death, which brings forth you getting the ruach, which makes you a son, which means now the grace is exhibited, and now you're not stolen away. Period. Do you know what I'm saying? And the common denominator in all of this is that you have to die. Go ahead.
It says, "They have had dominion over us, but by thee only we will make mention of thy name."
What word y'all think is used there for mention? Of the words that are up there right now, what word do you think is the Hebrew word for mention? The word is up there right now. Remembrance is the word. The zakar. So he says like this here, right? So if we will only make mention or only remember thy name, then you will only remember the sacrifice which causes you to become a son or causes you to be joined. That's it. So if you have a desire to his name and it causes you to remember him, and if you only gonna make mention of his name, then you only gonna remember to sacrifice yourself to be joined to Elohim. If not, you gonna die. See, you know why? Let's see the next verse, see what it say.
It says, "They are dead, they shall not live."
They are what?
They are dead, they shall not live.
Go ahead.
They are deceased, they shall not rise.
They shall not what?
Rise.
What else?
Therefore hast thou visited and destroyed them, and made all their memory perish.
Made all their memory to what?
Perish.
Revelation 20 and 5. Around here sounding like an old white black woman at a funeral.
It says, "But the rest of the dead live not
Make it verse
again."
4 then.
It says, "And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahusha, and for the word of Elohim, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or their hands. And they lived and reigned with the Mashiach 1,000 years."
So they did what?
Reigned with Mashiach 1,000 years.
And what the next thing say?
But the rest of the dead live not again.
The rest of the dead what?
Live not again.
Now notice he said the rest of the dead. So that means them people in verse 4 had to be dead too. But he just said right here in Isaiah 26, they are dead and they will not what?
They will not.
Live. I'm reading Isaiah 26:14. So we seen those who were dead in Revelation. He said that they rose from the dead, didn't it? But he said, but the rest of the dead rose not again. He said they are deceased, they are destroyed, and their memory perishes. Does not the book say that he will root all sinners out of the earth? If their memory perishes, how does their memory perish? Huh?
I was saying 5.
5. D, how you think their memory would perish?
I'm sorry.
It says if the dead are destroyed,
Yeah.
because they're not in the book of life. Because Malachi tells you he wrote a book of what? Remember. Let's see. Let me just look and see what that word for remembrance. I don't have it. Malachi likes to go away on it. This nigga here. We're going to see if zakar is the word for remembrance in Malachi 3 and 17. We got to get ready to dip and put these people room up. Yeah, it might be verse 16.
A memento, a record, a memorial.
Yeah, it's not zakar for that word. What word is it?
Zakron.
Zakron. Spell it for him. Let's spell it out. Zakron. What do you think we get for zakron for the remembrance?
No, we got the Zion.
You got the Zayin off the rip. We already know that because that's gonna be consistent. It's spelled Skron. That would be consistent with Zakar. So
Z.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is Z. So what do we get after that? Zakron.
Is it the cot or the call?
Call.
So now we get the cutting of the hand again. No?
Chrome, that's what it is.
It's a chrome.
You got the Rosh after that. And then the new.
How many characters is it?
Shoo. These are little 5 pieces.
5
The
characters.
Rosh.
I said the new one. Yeah, what is the new?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or no.
For those that you're listening to, the camera is panning periodically to the board of which these characters are written on. So what do we have here? We got the what? We got the cutting, right? Of the palm of the hand, correct? Of the head, which is secured seed. So what will we get out of that? We have a cutting, we have the palm of the hand, we have the head, we have a nail, or we can look at the be right. What's another thing for that? I don't think establishment of the seed. So what do we have right here? We have the cutting of the palm of the head establishes the seed. Because he said the book of remembrance was written before Yahuwah for everyone that thought upon his name.
That's an end. That's what's like an end at the end.
Well,
Yeah, I think you try to draw the seed.
so remember we have the Zayin, the Rosh, the Kaf, the Rosh, the U, and the Nun. So we're going to look at the cutting of the palm of the hand of the head establishes the seed. Because it said a book of remembrance was written for those who feared his name. If you fear Yahuwah, it said Yahushua was heard in that he feared. He respected and reverenced his father enough to get up there on that stage. Come on back, man, to Revelation 20 and finish it out.
So when I'm looking at this one, I'm looking at it's the same word.
It's pretty much the same word. The only difference is there's
You've already been established and you've already become a son of Elohim.
yeah. This is pretty much, it's no different from Zakar, just 2 extra characters, and 3 of them are redundant.
So that's the root word.
Yeah, I know it is. It had to be.
Yeah, that's the first letter.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry.
Why he do you like that?
It was a joke. Sorry. It was because it was so late. I'm sorry.
Revelation 20 and 5. Yeah, I was thinking about that too though when I was looking like, yeah, this is the same word. But it tells you though how to come in that sacrifice allowed the seed to be established. It expounded on it further. Gave a little bit more to go. Come on with it, man. So we can go.
Ooh.
Revelation 20 and 5.
It says, but the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Baruch the Kadash is he that have part in the first resurrection. Power, the first resurrection on such, the second death have no power.
So with that being said, let me slide so I can see that there. With that being said, as we conclude, we look at the Tahava is the what? The desire. So you beheld the sacrifice or the establishing of the strength of the covenant. That desire was to his name, which was to cause you to be joined to the Ruach, which causes you to have to remembrance of him, which causes the cutting of the palm of the head, which causes you to die, which causes you to be able to the sacrifice of the covenant bring forth life, which brought you down to you receiving the Ruach, which is the head making a sacrifice to separate you, which made you a son, which means you were the seed that entered into the house. So you received the free grace of Elohim, which made you a separated seed. That way the thief could not come and carry you away from the house, which allowed you to have him to be written in his. This is the difference of why it's a little different, because it was the book of remembrance. So it's us remembering him, but now this is Yah's book remembering us. This is the record. You know what I'm saying?
Established.
This is established
Right.
that you are my seed because you were cut off by the, you remembered the cutting off of the palm of the hand of the head.
And that established.
And that established you to be the seed, so I can write your name in my book. See, because you dead and you didn't live, there's no memory of you. I don't know who you are, which is why Yahusha always says what? Depart from me, you work of iniquity, I never knew you, because your name is not written. Your name is not written.
That's why when I did that, when I was thinking like thoughts versus it being, a thought is temporary versus
Internal.
being established. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So with that being said, hallelujah for Yahusha and the word, and